All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive into becoming a tufting operator.
Okay.
Now, if you're thinking tufting operator, what's that?
Right.
Well, basically, you're the one running those massive machines that turn yarn into all kinds of things. Carpets, upholstery, you name it.
Yeah, you're like the conductor of an orchestra of tufting machines, making sure everything's in sync and hitting the right notes.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And to help us navigate this career path, we've got some awesome resources from RoleCatcher, their career guide, their interview guide, and even some insights from their AI.
Really cool stuff. And you know what else is cool?
What's that?
The tufting industry itself. It's booming right now, especially in areas like automotive and furniture.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And with all the new trends popping up, digital printing, sustainable materials, it's a great time to jump in.
So job security is looking pretty good then.
Absolutely. And the pay ain't bad either. Plus, there's always room to move up the ladder.
Okay, so definitely a career path worth exploring. So let's say you've polished up your resume and you land that interview. One of the first questions RoleCatcher's guide mentions is, what inspired you to pursue a career as a tufting operator?
Okay, yeah.
Seems straightforward enough, but what are they really getting at with that?
It's all about passion.
Yeah.
You know, anyone can say they want a job, but the interviewer wants to see that spark, that genuine interest in this particular field.
So it's not enough to just say, well, I need a paycheck.
Right, exactly. They want to hear what specifically draws you to tufting. Maybe it's the process of turning raw materials into something tangible or the precision of the machines themselves.
So maybe you could talk about always being fascinated by how things are made.
Yeah,
And the idea of working with these massive tufting machines just gets you excited.
absolutely. And don't be afraid to make it personal, too.
What do you mean?
Like maybe you had a family member who worked in textiles or a high school shop class that sparked your interest. Those little stories make you stand out.
Okay, so paint a picture for them. Show them you're not just applying for any job, but that you're genuinely drawn to this one.
Exactly. Make it memorable.
Now, let's say you nail that first question. What kind of follow-ups might they hit you with?
Good question. Well, they might ask about your long-term goals, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or how do you see yourself fitting into our company culture?
Okay, so they're trying to gauge your commitment.
Right. They want to see if you've thought beyond just getting the job and considered how you might grow within the company.
And maybe they'll throw in some curveballs like, what challenges do you anticipate in this role?
Oh, for sure. They want to see if you've done your homework and you're aware of the demands of the job.
So be ready to talk about your aspirations, your understanding of the company's values, and your willingness to tackle the challenges head on.
That's it. Show them you're in it for the long haul.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, another question RoleCatcher's Guide brings up is, what experience do you have working with tufting machines?
Ah, yes, the experience question.
What if you're fresh out of school or switching careers and don't have direct experience with these specific machines?
That's a common scenario. And honesty is always the best policy. But even if you haven't worked with tufting machines specifically, you can still highlight relevant skills from previous jobs.
Like what?
Well, have you operated any kind of machinery before? Worked in a manufacturing environment? Even something like working as a barista requires attention to detail and following precise procedures. Those skills are transferable.
So it's about finding those common threads.
Exactly. Maybe you've worked in a warehouse operating a forklift or on an assembly line. Those experiences show you can handle the demands of a manufacturing setting.
Okay, so even if your resume doesn't scream tufting expert, you can still showcase skills that make you a strong candidate.
Right. And don't forget to express your willingness to learn the specifics of tufting technology.
Yeah, show them you're a fast learner and eager to dive in.
Exactly. This industry is constantly evolving, so adaptability is key.
Speaking of evolving, let's talk about this RoleCatcher AI for a minute. It analyzes tons of job descriptions and figures out what employers are really looking for. So how can our listener use that to their advantage during the interview?
It's like having a secret weapon. You can use the AI to identify the specific skills and keywords that are most important for this particular tufting operator role. Then weave those into your answers, showing the interviewer you really understand what they need.
So instead of just hoping you're saying the right things, you're using data to tailor your responses.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of it and gives you a huge advantage.
Okay, so data-driven interview prep. I like it. Now back to the questions RoleCatcher's Guide lists. How do you ensure the quality of the finished product when operating a tufting machine?
Quality control. This one's all about showing them you're not just going through the motions, but that you really care about delivering a top-notch product.
So how do you articulate that in a way that makes them go, wow, this person gets it?
Think about the entire process from start to finish. Talk about meticulously setting up the machine, your eagle eye, for spotting any defects, and your knowledge of quality control procedures.
So instead of just saying, I'll be careful, you give them specifics.
Right, like mentioning double-checking yarn tension, inspecting needles for any damage, and carefully monitoring the fabric as it's being produced.
And maybe even throw in some technical terms like using a gauge to measure pile height or conducting visual inspections for pattern accuracy.
Exactly. Show them, your stuff and that you're committed to delivering a flawless product.
Okay, so knowledge plus attention to detail equals quality assurance.
You got it.
Now, let's say they're impressed with your dedication to quality. What kind of follow-up questions might they ask to really test your knowledge?
Well, they could ask about specific quality control metrics you've tracked in the past, your experience with quality control software, or even how you'd handle a batch of fabric that doesn't meet the required standards.
So be ready to discuss your experience with data analysis, your familiarity with quality control tools, and your problem-solving skills.
That's it. They want to see that you can identify issues, analyze data, and come up with solutions.
So quality control is more than just a visual inspection. It's about understanding the data behind it.
Absolutely. And it's about taking ownership of the process from start to finish.
Okay, now let's move on to another question from the guide that focuses on problem solving. How do you troubleshoot problems that may arise during the tufting process?
Okay, yeah.
So it's not just about keeping the machines running. It's about knowing what to do when things go wrong.
Right. This is where your technical knowledge and your ability to think on your feet really come into play.
So how do you showcase those skills in the interview?
Walk them through your process. Like, how would you isolate a problem? What diagnostic tools or techniques would you use? And most importantly, how do you stay calm and think logically under pressure?
So for example, let's say a machine starts producing uneven tufts. You could explain that you'd first check the yarn tension, then inspect the needles for damage or misalignment. And if those aren't the issue, you might consult the machine's manual or contact a technician.
Exactly. Show them you have a systematic approach to troubleshooting, and you're not just going to panic when something goes wrong.
And if you have an anecdote from a previous job where you successfully solved a problem, share it.
Yes. Stories are always more engaging, and they help the interviewer picture you in action.
Now, what about those curveball follow-up questions?
Oh, they'll definitely come prepared to be asked about the most difficult technical problem you've faced, how you communicated the issue to your supervisor, or the steps you took to prevent similar problems in the future.
So basically, they're looking for someone who can learn from their mistakes and take proactive steps to avoid repeating them.
Exactly. They want to see that you're constantly learning and improving.
All right, good advice. Now, we've talked about quality control and problem solving, but what about safety?
Oh, absolutely. Safety is paramount in any manufacturing environment.
So how do you convey your commitment to safety during the interview?
Well, first and foremost, emphasize your unwavering commitment to following all safety protocols.
Okay.
Talk about your meticulous approach to machine maintenance, highlighting how you ensure optimal performance and minimize downtime.
So it's not just about working quickly, it's about working safely and efficiently.
Exactly. And don't forget to mention your ability to spot potential hazards and take proactive steps to mitigate risks.
For example, you could discuss your pre-operation inspections, making sure all safety guards are in place and emergency stops are functional.
Yes. And mention your adherence to lockout-tagout procedures for maintenance, demonstrating your knowledge of safety best practices.
Okay, so showcase your understanding of safety protocols and your commitment to creating a safe work environment.
Right. A safe workplace is a productive workplace.
Now, let's say they're impressed with your safety knowledge. What kind of follow-up questions might they throw your way?
They might ask about a time you identified a safety hazard, how you communicated it, or the steps you took to address it promptly.
So be ready to share a specific anecdote that demonstrates your proactive approach to safety.
Exactly. And they could also ask about your knowledge of specific safety regulations or industry best practices, so brush up on those before the interview.
So it's not just about saying, I'm a safe worker. It's about demonstrating your knowledge and experience.
Right. They want to see that you're truly committed to safety.
Now let's tackle another important aspect of the job. Prioritizing tasks.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Especially when things get hectic, you need to be able to juggle multiple demands effectively.
So how do you showcase your multitasking mastery in the interview?
Walk them through your process, how you assess urgency when you delegate what tools or techniques you use to manage your time.
So for example, let's say you're facing a machine malfunction, a looming production deadline, and a request to train a new operator all at once.
Yeah, that's a lot to handle.
How would you prioritize those tasks?
Well, I'd assess the malfunction first, as that could impact the entire line.
Yeah.
Then I might delegate the training to a senior operator, if possible, while focusing on resolving the machine issue to meet the deadline.
So it's about thinking strategically and knowing when to delegate.
Exactly. And don't forget to emphasize your ability to stay calm and focused under pressure.
Yeah, because when things get crazy, you need to be the eye of the storm.
Exactly. Employers value level-headedness in a fast-paced environment.
Now, what kind of follow-up questions might they ask to dig deeper into your organizational skills?
They might ask about a time you had to reprioritize tasks due to unforeseen circumstances, how you communicated the changes to your team, or what strategies you used to avoid feeling overwhelmed.
So be ready to discuss your flexibility communication skills and coping mechanisms for stressful situations.
That's it. You want to show them you can handle the pressure and keep things running smoothly.
Okay, good advice. Now moving on to a question that's all about staying ahead of the curve. How do you stay up to date with the latest tufting technology and techniques?
Yes. This is your chance to shine as a lifelong learner.
So how do you convey that dedication to professional development?
Highlight your genuine interest in advancements and your eagerness to learn. Talk about specific resources you use to stay informed, like industry conferences, trade publications, online courses, or even networking with other professionals.
So instead of just saying, I'm willing to learn, you show them you're already doing it.
Right. Maybe you subscribe to a textile industry magazine or participate in online forums for tufting operators.
You could even mention attending a recent trade show where you learned about new advancements.
Exactly. Show them you're actively seeking out knowledge and keeping your finger on the pulse of the industry.
Okay, so it's about demonstrating a genuine passion for learning and a commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
Precisely. And emphasize your ability to adapt to new technologies quickly and your willingness to share your knowledge with colleagues.
So you're not just keeping up, you're helping others keep up too.
Exactly. You're a valuable asset to any team.
Now, let's say they're impressed with your commitment to learning. What kind of follow-up questions might they ask?
Well, they might ask about a specific technological advancement that you find exciting,
Brilliant.
how you'd implement a new technique in your work, or the challenges you anticipate when adopting new technologies.
So they're looking for someone who can think critically about the future of the industry.
Exactly. They want to see that you're not just following the trends, but actively shaping them.
And that you're excited about the possibilities.
Precisely. Enthusiasm is contagious.
Now, before we wrap up this section on interview questions, I want to circle back to RoleCatcher's AI one more time.
Okay.
We've already talked about how it can help you tailor your answers and get feedback on your delivery, but how does it specifically address the needs of different career stages?
That's a great question. RoleCatcher's AI is incredibly versatile. It can analyze job descriptions for entry-level junior senior and lead tufting operator roles, identifying the specific keywords and skills that are most important for each level.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. You can use the AI to fine-tune your answers based on the specific stage you're targeting.
So if you're applying for a senior position, the AI will help you showcase your leadership experience and problem-solving abilities.
Right. And if you're just starting out, it'll help you emphasize your eagerness to learn and your foundational skills.
So it's like having a personalized career coach in your pocket.
Exactly. It's about presenting yourself in the best possible light for the specific opportunity you're pursuing.
Okay, that's awesome. Now let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, the overall health and direction of the tufting industry.
All right, sounds good.
We've touched on some trends, but it's important to understand the forces shaping this field, both for your immediate job search and for your long-term career prospects.
Absolutely. The tufting industry is undergoing a period of significant transformation driven by factors like automation sustainability and changing consumer preferences.
Okay, so let's unpack those trends. Starting with automation, we're seeing more and more sophisticated machines capable of performing tasks that were once done manually. How is this impacting the role of the tufting operator?
It's shifting the focus from purely manual operation to more of a supervisory and technical role. While the machines are becoming more automated, they still require skilled operators to program, monitor, troubleshoot, and maintain them.
So it's not about replacing human workers, but rather enhancing their capabilities and allowing them to focus on more complex tasks.
Exactly. It's a partnership between human expertise and machine precision.
So the skill set required for a tufting operator is evolving.
Absolutely. Technical proficiency, problem-solving abilities, and a deep understanding of the machines are becoming increasingly important.
It's a shift from brawn to brains, essentially.
Precisely.
Okay, now let's talk about sustainability. Consumers are becoming more environmentally conscious, and this is having a significant impact on the tufting industry.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a growing demand for products made from recycled materials, natural dyes, and biodegradable
Now,
backends.
it's not just about making a beautiful product anymore. It's about making one that's also eco-friendly.
Exactly. And this trend is creating opportunities for tufting operators who are knowledgeable about sustainable practices.
So you need to be able to operate machines that utilize these new materials and contribute to a company's efforts to minimize its environmental impact.
Right. It's about aligning your skills with the values of a company and the demands of a changing world.
Okay, so sustainability is definitely a key factor to consider.
Absolutely.
Now let's touch on changing consumer preferences. We're seeing a shift away from mass-produced generic designs towards more personalized, unique, and customized products.
Oh, yeah, for sure. People want something special, something that reflects their individual style.
So it's not just about churning out the same patterns anymore. It's about creating something unique.
Exactly. And this trend is driving innovation in the tufting industry. We're seeing advancements in digital printing and patterning technologies that allow for incredibly intricate designs.
Wow, so imagine carpets with photorealistic images or personalized monograms.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless.
And for tufting operators, this means staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. It's about learning new technologies, mastering new techniques, and embracing the creative potential of these advancements.
So it's a call to be adaptable, curious, and continuously learning.
Precisely.
Now, while we've been focusing on the macro trends shaping the industry, it's important to remember that the specific skills and qualities employers value may vary.
Right. Every company is different.
So how can our listener use RoleCatcher's AI to gain that competitive edge when targeting specific employers?
It's all about research and customization. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze job descriptions and company websites, identifying the specific keywords, skills, and values that they emphasize. Then you can use this information to tailor your answers and your resume.
So it's like having a personalized cheat sheet for each company you apply to.
Exactly. It's about speaking their language, showing them you understand their business, and demonstrating that you're the perfect fit.
Okay, so research, tailor, and impress.
That's the recipe for success.
Now let's shift gears and talk about a topic that's often overlooked in interview prep: body language.
Oh, yes. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it.
Right, your body language can speak volumes, especially in a high-pressure situation, like a job interview.
Exactly. Interviewers are assessing not just your skills, but also your overall demeanor.
They want to see how you'd fit within their team.
Right. So your body language needs to convey confidence, enthusiasm, and professionalism.
Okay, so what are some common body language pitfalls to avoid?
Slouching is a big one. It makes you appear disinterested or lacking confidence.
Okay, so sit up straight, shoulders back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And make eye contact with the interviewer. It shows you're engaged.
But don't stare them down.
Right. Maintain natural eye contact.
What about fidgeting? I know I tend to play with my pen when I'm nervous.
Yeah, fidgeting can be distracting. Try to keep your hands still, maybe resting them in your lap.
And what about crossing your arms?
Crossing your arms can make you appear closed off or defensive, so try to keep your arms open and relaxed.
So it's about finding that balance between being professional and being authentic.
Exactly. You want to project confidence, but you also don't want to come across as stiff.
And a genuine smile goes a long way.
Absolutely. It can put both you and the interviewer at ease.
Okay, so body language check. Now, how can RoleCatcher's AI help with that?
Well, it's amazing. The AI can provide personalized feedback on your body language during mock interviews.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. It can detect subtle cues in your posture, facial expressions, and hand gestures.
So it's like having a virtual body language coach.
Exactly. It can identify nervous habits, suggest ways to project more confidence, and even help you fine-tune your gestures.
Okay, so that's incredibly helpful.
Absolutely.
Now, before we move on to the next section, I want to emphasize that the interview is just one part of the job search process.
Right. You've got to find the right opportunities and craft a compelling resume.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can really shine.
Absolutely. It can help you identify job openings that align with your skills and interests, tailor your resume and cover letter, and even provide insights into company culture.
So it's like having a personal career assistant guiding you every step of the way.
Precisely. It's about empowering you with the knowledge and tools to succeed.
Okay, so RoleCatcher AI definitely sounds like a game changer.
It really is.
Now let's talk about another important aspect of being a successful tufting operator: soft skills.
Oh, yeah. Soft skills are essential in any workplace, but especially in a team-oriented role like this.
We've touched on communication, teamwork, and problem solving, but let's delve a bit deeper.
Right.
As a tufting operator, you'll be interacting with a lot of different people, so clear, concise, and respectful communication is
Oh,
crucial.
absolutely. It's about building strong relationships, resolving issues effectively, and ensuring everyone's on the same page.
And active listening is equally important, right?
Oh, for sure. You need to be able to pay attention to what others are saying, ask clarifying questions, and show that you value their input.
It's about building trust and creating a more collaborative work environment.
Exactly.
Now, problem solving is another key soft skill.
Right. Things don't always go smoothly, so you need to be able to stay calm under pressure, analyze the situation, and find solutions quickly.
And sometimes it's about knowing when to ask for help.
Absolutely. Recognizing your limitations and seeking guidance from others is a sign of strength, not weakness.
It's about being resourceful and leveraging the expertise of your team.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about teamwork.
Okay.
You'll be part of a larger team working towards common goals. So your ability to collaborate effectively is essential.
It's about contributing to the success of the team, sharing your knowledge, assisting others, and celebrating achievements together.
And don't underestimate the power of a positive attitude.
Oh, yeah. A can-do spirit and a sense of humor can go a long way.
It's about being the kind of teammate people want to work with.
Exactly.
Now remember, soft skills aren't just innate talents.
Yeah.
You can learn and develop them over time.
That's right. Pay attention to how you interact with others, seek feedback, and actively work on improving your communication and teamwork abilities.
It's an ongoing journey, but it's worth the effort.
Absolutely. Strong soft skills can open doors to new opportunities.
All right, so soft skills, check. Now before we move on, I want to ask you a question. Imagine yourself 5 years from now working as a tufting operator.
Okay.
What skills have you mastered? What challenges have you overcome?
That's a great question to think about.
And how are you using technology to push the boundaries of the field?
It's all about envisioning your ideal career path and then taking proactive steps to make it a reality.
The future's in your hands.
Exactly.
Now, for our listener who's gearing up for that tufting operator interview, what's the one piece of advice we want them to walk away with today?
Preparation is key. Research the company, understand the RoleCatcher, practice your answers, and leverage those tools and resources we've talked about, especially RoleCatcher's AI.
So go out there, ace that interview, and embark on an exciting journey in the world of tufting.
The future of the industry is in your hands. It's about showcasing your understanding of the role and the company in a way that truly resonates with the interviewer. Now let's dive into a question that's all about precision and attention to detail. How do you ensure the tufting machine is properly set up for each job? This one really tests your technical knowledge and your ability to adapt to different production requirements.
Okay, so it's not just about pushing buttons. It's about knowing how to fine-tune those machines for different fabrics.
Yeah,
Patterns, pile heights, the whole 9 yards.
precisely. You need to demonstrate that you understand the importance of precision and accuracy from the get-go.
So it's almost like a chef following a recipe.
Yeah,
You need to know every ingredient and every step before you start cooking.
exactly. Walk them through your step-by-step process for setting up the machine, highlighting key adjustments like yarn tension, using a tension gauge, of course, needle height, and pattern programming. Don't be afraid to get a little technical here. Show them, your way around the machine and understand how each adjustment impacts the final product.
For example, you could mention adjusting the needle height based on the desired pile thickness, double-checking the pattern programming to avoid any costly mistakes, and even running test samples to ensure everything's perfect before going into full production.
Exactly. And don't forget to emphasize your ability to troubleshoot any issues that might pop up during setup. Maybe the yarn tension isn't quite right, or the needles need a slight adjustment. You want to show them you can identify and resolve these problems quickly and efficiently.
It's all about demonstrating your problem-solving skills and your attention to detail, two essential qualities for a successful tufting operator.
Precisely. Now let's move on to a question that's all about stamina and maintaining focus. How do you maintain a high level of productivity when operating a tufting machine? This one can be tricky because the work can be repetitive. They want to know you can stay engaged and motivated even when the tasks become routine.
So how do you answer this without sounding like a robot? You can't exactly say, I just stare at the machine all day and zone out.
Definitely not. The key is to show them you're actively engaged in the process and looking for ways to improve your efficiency and the quality of your work.
So instead of saying, I show up on time and do my job, you could talk about breaking down tasks into smaller goals. Maybe setting personal targets for each shift and focusing on maintaining a steady rhythm to keep things moving smoothly.
Exactly. You could also mention how you stay alert for any potential issues, proactively communicate with your team, and always strive to improve your efficiency without sacrificing quality or safety.
It's about finding those little wins throughout the day, knowing that every perfectly tufted row is a step towards achieving those larger production goals.
Precisely. Now let's tackle a question that's all about your interpersonal skills. How do you handle conflicts or disagreements with team members while working as a tufting operator? This one's about navigating those tricky workplace dynamics with grace and professionalism.
Yeah, we've all had those coworkers who make you want to pull your hair out. So how do you answer this question without throwing anyone under the bus or revealing past workplace drama?
Focus on your commitment to open communication, active listening, and finding those win-win solutions. Emphasize your respect for your colleagues and your desire to maintain a positive and productive work environment.
So instead of dwelling on past conflicts or blaming others, you could explain how you would first try to understand the other person's perspective, then calmly communicate your own point of view, and work together to find a solution that benefits the entire team.
Exactly. You could even share a specific example from a previous job where you successfully resolved a conflict, highlighting the positive outcome and what you learned from the situation. But remember, keep it positive and focus on the resolution, not the drama.
It's about showing them you're a team player, someone who can handle those disagreements constructively and keep those good vibes flowing in the workplace.
Exactly. Now, here's another question that might come up, and it's a chance to showcase your commitment to safety. Describe a time you had to stop production due to a safety concern.
This one's all about showing you prioritize safety above all else. How do you answer it in a way that demonstrates your knowledge of procedures without sounding like you're reciting the company's safety manual?
Be specific. Share an anecdote about a time you encountered a potential hazard, outlining the steps you took to address it. Explain why you felt it was necessary to stop production, how you communicated the issue, and the actions you took to mitigate the risk.
For instance, you might describe noticing a frayed cable near a machine, immediately halting production, alerting your supervisor, and then following lockout-tagout procedures to isolate the machine before any troubleshooting or repairs could even begin.
Exactly. You want to show them that you understand the potential consequences of ignoring safety protocols and that you're willing to take decisive action to protect yourself and your colleagues.
It's about demonstrating that safety is non-negotiable for you, and you're not afraid to speak up when you see something that could put people at risk.
Precisely. Now let's shift gears and talk about career progression. The RoleCatcher Guide outlines a clear path for advancement in this field, starting from entry level all the way up to lead tufting operator. Understanding these different stages can be incredibly helpful both for setting your own career goals and for tailoring your interview answers to match the specific level you're applying for.
Okay, so let's break it down for our listener. What are the key distinctions between these different career stages? What skills and responsibilities evolve as you move up that ladder?
At the entry level, the focus is on learning the ropes. You're typically operating the machines under close supervision, assisting with basic tasks like loading materials and following established procedures. It's all about gaining that hands-on experience, demonstrating a willingness to learn, and proving your reliability.
So it's about building a solid foundation and showing you're eager to absorb all that new information and be a valuable contributor to the team.
Exactly. As you progress to the junior level, you gain more independence and responsibility. You might be operating machines independently, monitoring fabric quality more closely, and even assist in training those new entry-level operators. It's about building your skills, taking on more challenging tasks, and showing initiative.
So it's about taking ownership of your work, expanding that skill set, and showing that leadership potential.
Precisely. Then as you move up to the senior level, the focus shifts towards leadership and problem solving. You might supervise a group of machines and operators, ensure quality standards are consistently met, conduct regular machine maintenance, and even analyze production data to recommend process improvements.
So it's about becoming a go-to expert, leading by example, and contributing to the overall efficiency of the operation.
Exactly. Finally, at the lead level, the emphasis is on strategic decision-making and team management. You might lead a team of operators, develop and implement quality control measures, oversee machine setups and production transitions, collaborate with engineering teams to optimize processes, and even conduct performance evaluations for your team members.
Wow, so it's about becoming a true leader, driving continuous improvement, and mentoring that next generation of tufting operators.
Exactly. Understanding this progression can be incredibly valuable for anyone entering this field. It helps you set realistic goals, identify the skills you need to develop at each stage, and articulate your aspirations clearly during interviews. Remember, interviewers are often looking for candidates who have a vision for their future and a plan for how they'll contribute to the company's long-term success.
Speaking of vision and long-term success, let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI for a moment. We've already talked about how it can help tailor your answers and get feedback on your delivery, but how does it specifically address the needs of these different career stages?
That's a great question. RoleCatcher's AI is incredibly versatile. It can analyze job descriptions for entry-level, junior, senior, and lead tufting operator roles, identifying those specific keywords and skills that are most important for each level. This means you can use the AI to fine-tune your answers based on the specific stage you're targeting.
So if you're applying for a senior tufting operator position, the AI will highlight the keywords and skills that are most relevant for that level of responsibility, helping you showcase your leadership experience and problem-solving abilities, for example.
Exactly. And if you're just starting out at the entry level, the AI will help you emphasize your eagerness to learn your adaptability and those foundational skills. It's all about presenting yourself in the best possible light for that specific opportunity.
It's like having a personalized career coach who understands the nuances of each stage and helps you tailor your approach accordingly.
Precisely. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI is constantly learning and evolving, just like the tufting industry itself. So as new technologies emerge and industry trends shift, the AI will adapt its insights and guidance to ensure you're always one step ahead.
Now let's zoom out a bit and consider the bigger picture, the overall health and direction of the tufting industry. We've touched on some trends, but it's important to understand the forces shaping this field, both for your immediate job search and for those long-term career prospects.
Absolutely. The tufting industry is undergoing a period of significant transformation driven by factors like automation sustainability and those ever-changing consumer preferences. These trends present both challenges and opportunities for tufting operators, and understanding them is crucial for anyone entering or navigating this field.
Okay, so let's unpack these trends. Starting with automation. We're seeing more and more sophisticated machines capable of performing tasks that were once done manually. How is this impacting the role of the tufting operator?
It's a shift from purely manual operation to more of a supervisory and technical role. While the machines are becoming more automated, they still require skilled operators to program, monitor, troubleshoot, and maintain them.
So it's not about replacing human workers, but rather enhancing their capabilities and allowing them to focus on more complex tasks.
Exactly. Think of it as a partnership between human expertise and machine precision. And this means the skill set required for a tufting operator is evolving. Technical proficiency, problem-solving abilities, and a deep understanding of the machines are becoming increasingly important.
It's a shift from brawn to brains, essentially.
Precisely. Now let's talk about sustainability. Consumers are becoming more environmentally conscious, and this is having a significant impact on the tufting industry. There's a growing demand for products made from recycled materials, natural dyes, and biodegradable backings.
This is not just about making a beautiful carpet or upholstery anymore. It's about making one that's also eco-friendly and responsible.
Exactly. And this trend is creating opportunities for tufting operators who are knowledgeable about sustainable practices, who can operate machines that utilize these new materials, and who can contribute to a company's efforts to minimize its environmental impact.
It's about aligning your skills with the values of a company and the demands of a changing world.
Precisely. Now let's touch on changing consumer preferences. We're seeing a shift away from mass-produced generic designs towards more personalized, unique, and customized products.
So it's no longer just about churning out the same carpet patterns or upholstery fabrics. It's about creating something special, something that reflects the individual tastes and styles of consumers.
Exactly. And this trend is driving innovation in the tufting industry. We're seeing advancements in digital printing and patterning technologies that allow for incredibly intricate designs and customized creations.
Imagine carpets with photorealistic images, personalized monograms, or even interactive elements. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Precisely. And for tufting operators, this means staying ahead of the curve. It's about learning new technologies, mastering new techniques, and embracing the creative potential of these advancements.
So it's a call to be adaptable, curious, and continuously learning.
Exactly. Now, while we've been focusing on the macro trends shaping the tufting industry, it's important to remember that the specific skills and qualities employers value may vary depending on the company, the location, and the type of products they manufacture.
Right. It's one thing to understand the overall trends, but it's another to tailor your approach to the specific needs of each employer you're targeting. So how can our listener use RoleCatcher's AI to gain that competitive edge?
It's all about research and customization. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze those job descriptions and company websites of potential employers, identifying the specific keywords, skills, and values that they emphasize. You can then use this information to fine-tune your answers, highlighting the aspects of your experience and skill set that are most relevant to their needs.
So it's not just about having the skills, it's about being able to articulate those skills in a way that resonates with the specific employer you're targeting.
Exactly. It's about speaking their language, showing them that you understand their business, and demonstrating that you're the perfect fit for their team.
It's about transforming from a generic applicant into a perfectly tailored solution for their specific needs.
Precisely. Now let's shift gears and talk about a topic that's often overlooked in interview preparation: body language.
Oh, yes. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Yep.
And your body language can speak volumes, especially in a high-pressure situation like a job interview.
Exactly. Remember, interviewers are assessing not just your skills and experience, but also your overall demeanor and how you'd fit within their team. Your body language can convey confidence, enthusiasm, and professionalism, or it can signal nervousness, disinterest, or even arrogance.
So what are some common body language pitfalls to avoid during an interview?
Slouching is a big one. It can make you appear disinterested or lacking confidence. Sit up straight, shoulders back, and make eye contact with the interviewer.
Eye contact is crucial. It shows you're engaged and listening attentively. But don't stare them down.
Right. Maintain natural eye contact, but don't be afraid to look away briefly when you're thinking or formulating your answer.
What about fidgeting? I know I tend to play with my pen or twirl my hair when I'm nervous.
Fidgeting can be distracting and convey anxiety. Try to keep your hands still, maybe resting them in your lap or lightly clasped in front of you.
And what about crossing your arms? Is that a no-no?
Crossing your arms can make you appear closed off or defensive. Try to keep your arms open and relaxed, using gestures naturally to emphasize your points.
So it's about finding that balance between being professional and being authentic. You want to project confidence, but you also don't want to come across as stiff or rehearsed.
Exactly. And remember, a genuine smile goes a long way. It can put both you and the interviewer at ease and create a more positive and engaging interaction.
It's about letting your personality shine through, showing them that you're not just a qualified candidate, but also a pleasant and personable individual who'd be a great addition to their team.
Now, while we've been discussing general body language tips, it's important to remember that RoleCatcher's AI can provide personalized feedback on your specific body language during mock interviews.
That's right. It's like having a personal body language coach analyzing your every move and helping you refine your nonverbal communication. How does it work?
It's incredibly sophisticated. The AI can detect subtle cues in your posture, facial expressions, and hand gestures, providing insights into how you're coming across to the interviewer. It can identify nervous habits, suggest ways to project more confidence, and even help you fine-tune your gestures to make them more impactful.
So it's not just about telling you to sit up straight. It's about providing personalized feedback based on your unique body language patterns.
Exactly. And this level of personalized feedback can be incredibly valuable, especially for those who are self-conscious about their body language or who want to make sure they're presenting themselves in the best possible light.
It's like having a secret weapon that helps you master the often overlooked aspect of nonverbal communication, giving you a significant advantage in the interview process.
Now, while we've been focusing on specific interview questions and techniques, it's important to remember that the interview is just one part of that larger job search process. And RoleCatcher's AI can provide invaluable assistance throughout that journey.
Right. It's not just about acing the interview. It's about finding the right opportunities, crafting a compelling resume, and navigating the often complex world of online job applications.
Exactly. RoleCatcher's AI can help you identify job openings that align with your skills and interests, tailor your resume and cover letter to specific job descriptions, and even provide insights into company culture and hiring practices.
So it's like having a personal career assistant guiding you every step of the way from the initial job search to the final interview and beyond.
Precisely. It's about empowering you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to succeed in today's competitive job market.
It really does sound like RoleCatcher's AI is changing the game for job seekers, taking out the guesswork and helping people really put their best foot forward.
Absolutely. It's a game changer, especially for an industry like Tufting, where technology is always moving forward and there's a lot of competition for skilled workers.
Now, before we wrap up this whole deep dive, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the importance of soft skills. We talked about communication, teamwork, and problem solving, but what else should we know about those soft skills for Tufting operators?
It's good to remember that technical skills are only part of the story. In manufacturing, especially in a team-based role like this, those soft skills are super important. Let's start with communication.
Right, as a Tufting operator, you can be talking to all sorts of people, other operators, supervisors, technicians, maybe even clients or customers. So being able to communicate clearly, respectfully, and making sure everyone's on the same page is key.
Exactly. You got to be able to talk about what you need, what you're seeing, and share your knowledge in a way that everyone understands.
That's not just about talking, right? Active listening is just as important.
Oh, for sure. You got to pay attention to what others are saying, ask questions, and show that you value their input.
It's about building trust and making sure everyone feels heard.
Exactly. A good work environment is built on trust and respect.
Now, we talked about problem solving before, but how important is it in this role?
Super important. Things don't always go as planned in manufacturing. Machines break down, you run out of materials, deadlines pop up, and unexpected things happen all the time. Being able to stay calm under pressure, think things through, and find solutions quickly is crucial.
So it's not just about following the rule book.
No, you have to think on your feet, adjust to changes, and use your experience to overcome those obstacles. Sometimes it's about knowing when to ask for help, too.
It's okay to not have all the answers.
Right, knowing your limits and asking for guidance shows strength, not weakness.
Makes sense. Now, what about teamwork? How important is that for a Tufting operator?
Teamwork is huge. You're part of a team working towards a common goal. So being able to collaborate, communicate clearly, and support your colleagues is really important.
It's about sharing knowledge, helping others, and celebrating those wins together.
And a positive attitude can make a big difference, too.
Right, a can-do spirit. A willingness to lend a hand and a bit of humor can really lift everyone's spirits.
Exactly. You want to be the kind of teammate people enjoy working with.
So it's all about those good vibes.
Now, don't forget, soft skills can be learned and developed over time. So pay attention to how you interact with people, ask for feedback, and keep working on those communication and teamwork skills.
It's a continuous journey, but it's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Those soft skills can really open doors for you.
Okay, so soft skills are important. We got it. Now, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Tufting operators, I want to leave you with a final thought. Imagine yourself 5 years from now working as a Tufting operator. What skills have you mastered? What challenges have you overcome? And how are you using technology to take this field to the next level?
That's a great exercise. It's all about creating your own future.
Exactly. The future isn't something that just happens. It's something we build.
Right. So for our listener who's prepping for that Tufting operator interview, what's the one key takeaway we want them to remember?
What's that golden nugget of wisdom?
Preparation is everything. Research the company, understand the role, practice your answers, and use those tools and resources we talked about. Especially RoleCatcher's AI. It's like having a secret weapon to help you tailor your resume, refine your answers, and even analyze your body language.
To go out there, ace that interview, and start your journey in the exciting world of Tufting.
The future of the industry is waiting for you.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into becoming a Tufting operator. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those knowledge tanks full.